think that's fine. We usually make sure that we get those stock price. Okay? Sure. I've been so busy today, I haven't even had time to shave. Look at this. Look at this. Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, so look, let's take it from the top one more time. So the topic for today's vlog is going to be patience. Patience is very important. It's probably the most important thing that I had to learn over the course of my career as an investor and trader, and now as a builder of businesses. I've received a lot of email messages over the past few weeks, actually the past few months at this point, of investors and traders, subscribers, non-subscribers, the general audience asking me, when is the market, specifically the stock market, going to start doing a more directional move? And the reality is that patience is by far the most difficult thing to learn, and also the most difficult thing to understand how important that it is. The reality is twofold when it comes to the stock market specifically. Most of the time, about 80% of stocks tend to move up and down together. Also, roughly about 80% of the time, the market's actually not doing anything. It's actually going sideways. So most of the time, even if we're in big uptrends, those uptrends only take place for the most part in like a span of a few days and weeks, and then it goes sideways and then it goes up again. So the fact that we're now stuck in a very long range that's basically sideways, it's actually multi-month, but right now people are focusing sort of on a multi-week, very dormant phase. The reality is that patience is right now being tested, and I see a lot of people actually tossing in the towel. What I've seen over my entire career is that when this kind of behavior starts to tick up, and it is ticking up right now, we tend to be pretty close to a spot where we're once again going to have either a more volatile market or at least a more directional market. That's kind of what I'm trying to portray today, is this whole concept of patience. Understand that patience is important, and if you're about to throw in the towel now because this market's been too boring for you, this might just be the time when it's important to start sitting up and taking notice. That's exactly why I tell my Clubhouse members to watch the morning videos every single day. It's a 10-minute commitment. I think everyone has 10 minutes per day. So let's quickly look at a couple of things I want to show you guys in the S&P 500 as far as the current sideways range is concerned. So to contextualize this current market malaise, if we can call it that, again, keep in mind the stats that I just told you that most stocks tend to go up and down together, and that the stock market in general tends to actually go sideways most of the time, okay? So keep that in mind. So let's look at two specific time frames. First of all, we're going to look at the sort of bigger picture time frame, and here you'd see that if we just draw some very simple boxes here, or just one box actually is enough, you would see that basically, as much as the market is now above this like sort of multi-year range, the reality is between late 2014 and roughly now, the market actually hasn't done a whole lot to the upside. In fact, it's done just about nothing. Okay. Yes, we had a couple corrective moves last August, so August 2015, and of course January, February 2016. But aside from that, and by the way, these things have held support, we've had a very boring sort of bigger picture sideways range. Now we could look at the different sectors as well. We could look at individual sectors within, say, the S&P 500, and you'd see a very similar picture for the most part. Okay, for the most part. So hence, it's not surprising that the broader market is kind of boring, right? So that's time frame number one. Let's look at time frame number two, which is a little bit more close up to kind of give us an idea of what has actually transpired over the past, let's say, couple months. Okay, and here you can see that yes, we actually broke higher here in July for the S&P 500, but largely speaking, we didn't really do anything. We're actually now back, or we were back just a few days ago, and we may be back again pretty soon at a spot where we were just in early July. So both in the near-term time frame and then a big picture time frame. And again, keep those two time frames separate, but understand them for perspective. The stock market, U.S. stock market, has actually not done a whole lot. So keep that in mind, guys. I hope this helps. Perspective starts with patience. The more patient you can be, the less you force trades and let the trades come to you, the more successful you'll be ultimately. And of course, that is all we all want to be. So take care, and I'll see you in the next vlog.